Did you know that some mistakes could turn your eggs toxic? Eggs are naturally rich in high-quality protein. Essential vitamins like vitamin B12, vitamin D, and vitamin E, and critical nutrients such as choline and selenium. According to the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, when eaten in moderation, can be part of a healthy diet. But the way you cook, store, and handle eggs can drastically alter their nutritional profile, even make them harmful. Today, we uncover 5 common mistakes people make with eggs. You might be surprised to learn this, but how you cook your eggs can be just as important as whether or not you eat them in the first place, especially among people who've been cooking the same way for decades. Is overheating eggs. A crispy fried egg with golden brown edges, or a hard-boiled egg cooked until the yolk turns a firm green. But here's what most people don't know. Overcooking eggs can oxidize their cholesterol, which has been linked to inflammation and heart disease. According to Dr. Frank Hu, a leading nutrition expert from Harvard, eggs can absolutely be part of a healthy diet, but it's how you prepare them and what you pair them with that matters most. A lot of folks enjoy frying their eggs until they sizzle and the bottom turns crisp. Or they'll boil them until the yolk is chalky and gray-green. It's tasty, sure, but when you cook eggs at high heat, you're not just changing the flavor, you're changing the chemistry. High heat damages the healthy fats and proteins inside the egg. It also oxidizes cholesterol, which has been tied to increased inflammation, a key driver of heart disease. Ever peeled a hard-boiled egg and caught a whiff of that strong sulfur smell? That's a clue. The sulfur from the egg white reacts with the iron in the yolk, forming a compound called iron sulfide. It's not toxic, but it is a warning sign that the nutrients have been broken down. Let's talk about Robert, a 76-year-old retired school principal. For years, he had eggs every single morning, fried in butter until the edges were crispy. He thought they tasted better that way. But over time, Robert began noticing something strange. He had more frequent heartburn, occasional bloating, and just felt sluggish. After learning about the effects of oxidized cholesterol, he tried something simple. He switched to soft scrambling his eggs over low heat. Within just a couple of weeks, Robert felt less bloated, more energetic, and even slept better at night. Eggs are more than just protein. They're also loaded with vitamin B12, folate, and antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin, which are crucial for brain and eye health, especially as we age. But high heat destroys those nutrients. So if you're overcooking your eggs, you're not just changing the taste. You're missing out on the best parts of the egg entirely. Now, some chefs will argue, but browning adds flavor. The Maillard reaction makes everything tastier. And you know what? They're not wrong. That golden sear you get on a fried egg? It does enhance flavor. But at what cost? The same browning reaction also produces oxidized fats. And when eaten regularly, those can irritate your blood vessels and slowly contribute to artery damage. For older adults who already face age-related inflammation, that's not a risk worth taking. You just need to tweak how you cook them. Soft scramble them over low heat. Poach them in water. Lightly boil them, keeping yolks slightly soft. Or if you fry them, use low heat and avoid browning the edges. Should flavor take priority over nutrition when it comes to the foods you eat every day, especially as you age? If you're still watching this video and find the information helpful, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. Now, let's talk about a mistake that many people make with the best intentions. Eating eggs raw or undercooked, thinking it's healthier. You've probably heard someone say, raw eggs are more nutritious. Maybe you've even tried it in a smoothie, a runny sunny side up, or licking the spoon from homemade cookie dough. But here's the thing. Raw eggs can carry salmonella and also reduce your ability to absorb an important vitamin called biotin because of a natural compound inside the egg called avidin. And while this might sound like something that only affects a handful of people, it's especially important for older adults to understand. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, about 1 in every 20,000 eggs may be contaminated with salmonella. But here's the catch. When you're older, your immune system doesn't bounce back like it used to. What might be a mild stomach bug for a 20-year-old could land a 70-year-old in the hospital. Let me introduce you to Margaret. She's 68, retired, and loves starting her mornings with a protein smoothie. For years, she cracked a raw egg into her blender, believing it gave her the maximum nutrition boost. One morning, things changed. She started experiencing sharp stomach pain, nausea, and then came the fever. After a few miserable days, she ended up in the doctor's office, where she was diagnosed with salmonella poisoning. She never guessed it was the egg. It looked clean. It was organic and came from a trusted store. But that's the thing. Salmonella doesn't leave visible clues. After switching to fully cooked eggs, Margaret never had another problem. And she still got all the nutrition her body needed without the risk. You may have heard that raw eggs are alive, or that cooking them kills the nutrients. And yes, raw eggs do contain more enzymes. But here's what most people don't realize. There's a protein in raw egg whites called avidin. It binds to biotin, a B vitamin that helps with nerve function, metabolism, and keeping your hair and skin healthy. When you eat eggs raw, your body can't absorb that biotin properly. Over time, this could lead to a deficiency, especially in older adults who already struggle with nutrient absorption. Cooking deactivates avidin, meaning you actually get more of the good stuff when your eggs are cooked properly. Seniors, like Margaret, are more likely to suffer severe complications from foodborne illness due to weaker immunity. Pregnant women also need to be extremely careful because salmonella can lead to serious complications for both mom and baby. Fitness buffs, especially younger men, might toss back raw eggs in their protein shakes, thinking it's the rocky way to get stronger. But they often don't realize they're missing out on key nutrients due to poor bioavailability. You might be thinking, well, I buy only organic eggs, so I'm fine, right? Unfortunately, no. Even organic, cage-free, or farm-fresh eggs can carry harmful bacteria. It's not about how the hen was raised. It's about how the egg was handled, from the farm to transport to the store, and then to your fridge. Bacteria can enter at any step. You just need to cook them properly. Scrambled until firm. Boiled. Soft or hard, just as long as the yolk is not runny. Poached, where the white and yolk are cooked through. And if you love a little run in your yolk, use pasteurized eggs, which are heat-treated to kill bacteria without cooking the egg. These simple tweaks can protect your gut, your energy, and your peace of mind. If you found this helpful for yourself or a loved one, please share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to hit the notification bell and subscribe to our channel. It really means a lot to us. If you do this for me, I promise that my team and I will do everything we can to keep making this program even better for you. Deal? Coming up next, the third mistake might be hiding in your fridge right now, and it has nothing to do with cooking. You've probably done this at some point. You cook a nice batch of scrambled eggs in the morning, have your breakfast, and then you leave the rest on the counter for later. It seems harmless enough, but cooked eggs left at room temperature can become a breeding ground for dangerous bacteria like E. coli and Listeria. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, perishable foods like eggs should not be left out for more than 2 hours. Why? Because bacteria thrive in what they call the danger zone. That's anywhere between 40 degrees and 140 degrees Fahrenheit. And get this, in that range, bacteria can double every 20 minutes. So by the time you're circling back for leftovers, your food might be full of pathogens you can't see, smell, or taste. It's normal, especially in busy households or when you're meal prepping, to leave food out for a little while. Maybe you mean to come back soon. Maybe you just forget. Life gets busy. As we age, our immune systems naturally weaken, and our bodies don't fight off bacteria as easily. That means a simple stomach bug for a younger person could lead to a serious illness or even hospitalization for someone over 65. Take George, for example. He's 72, lives alone, and likes to get a head start on his week. On Sundays, he makes a big batch of scrambled eggs, stores them in the fridge, and heats up a portion each morning. But here's the issue. George used to store his eggs in a loosely covered container, sitting them next to raw produce and sometimes leftover meat. After a few weeks of this routine, George started experiencing bloating, nausea, and stomach cramps several times a week. At first, he chalked it up to aging or indigestion, but after a little research, he realized his storage habits were to blame. Now, George uses airtight containers, keeps his cooked eggs away from raw foods, and only makes 3 days' worth at a time. And guess what? No more digestive problems. Even though your eggs have already been cooked, they're not invincible. Once they cool down, they can pick up bacteria just like any other perishable food. Listeria, which is especially dangerous for older adults, can grow even in cold temperatures. Salmonella and E. coli thrive when eggs are left out, even if the kitchen seems clean. And don't forget, cross-contamination. If your cooked eggs are sitting next to raw meat, unwashed vegetables, or foods that have leaked, the bacteria can transfer right into your eggs. Now, some folks argue, refrigerating eggs ruins the texture. Microwaving them later makes them rubbery and gross. And to be honest, they're not entirely wrong. Eggs don't reheat well in the microwave. They can turn into little yellow hockey pucks if you're not careful. But here's the fix. Instead of blasting them in the microwave, gently reheat your eggs in a pan over low heat. Add just a splash of water or broth to bring back moisture. Stir slowly, and you'll keep the texture soft and flavorful, while keeping the food safe. And if you have to use a microwave, do it in short bursts and stir between intervals to avoid overcooking. Hard-boiled eggs last up to 1 week in the fridge. Scrambled or fried eggs should be eaten within 3 to 4 days. Always use airtight containers. Store them in the main part of the fridge, not the door, where temperatures fluctuate more. These small changes can protect your gut, your energy, and your immune system. What's your favorite method for reheating eggs without ruining the taste? And how do you make sure they stay safe? We'd love to hear your tips in the comments. The more we share, the more we help each other stay healthy. Up next, we'll cover mistake number 4, using damaged or expired eggs. You might be surprised how many eggs look fine, but aren't safe to eat. These eggs expired last week, but they look okay. Should I still use them? It's a common situation, especially if you don't want to waste food. But here's what you need to know. Cracked or expired eggs may look fine on the outside, but they can carry hidden bacteria, like salmonella, that could seriously affect your health. And for older adults, this risk is much higher than most people realize. As we age, our immune systems become less efficient, meaning it takes longer and more effort to fight off infections. Something a 20-year-old could shake off in a day might put a 70-year-old in the hospital. This is why it's so important to be cautious, especially when it comes to expired or damaged eggs. Even if the shell looks clean and uncracked, if that egg is past its prime, it could be hiding bacteria that grows inside silently. According to registered dietitian nutritionist Dr. Elizabeth Shaw, using the water test is an easy way to check egg freshness. If it floats, toss it. It's that simple. Most people assume the printed expiration date on the carton is the final word. But here's the truth. Eggs don't follow that date perfectly. If they've been stored properly in a cold, stable fridge, they might last longer. If they've been handled poorly before they got to your home, they could spoil before the date even arrives. That's why just reading the carton isn't enough. Let me tell you about Evelyn, who's 74 years old. She's careful with her diet and doesn't like wasting food, something many of us can relate to. One morning, she cracked an egg into the pan and noticed a slightly odd smell. She hesitated, but figured it's probably still good and cooked it anyway. By the afternoon, she had severe stomach cramps and nausea. A visit to the doctor confirmed it: food poisoning from a spoiled egg. Now, Evelyn never skips the water test, and she hasn't had another incident since. Here's how it works. Fill a bowl with cold water. Gently place the egg inside. If it sinks and lays flat, it's fresh. If it stands upright, it's still okay, but use it soon. If it floats, that egg is no good. Toss it immediately. This method works because older eggs develop more air inside, making them buoyant. No guessing, no wasting. Just a simple, safe test. If your eggs have been stored in the door of the fridge where it's warmer and gets exposed every time you open the door, they spoil faster. If they were mishandled during delivery or sat out in a warm truck too long before reaching the store, bacteria could already be multiplying. Even small hairline cracks, sometimes invisible to the eye, can let bacteria in. Always store your eggs in the coldest part of the fridge. That's usually the back, not the door. You might hear someone say, eggs are fine weeks past the date if they're cold. And to some extent, they're right. Properly refrigerated eggs can last longer. But let's be honest. Is saving 1 or 2 eggs worth risking your health? You can always buy more eggs, but you can't rewind time if one bad egg leaves you sick in bed for days, or worse. When in doubt, don't guess. Do the float test. Would you eat an expired egg if it passed the water test? Or does the risk still outweigh the savings? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. These kinds of debates help everyone in the community learn from each other. And if you're still with us, comment number 4 down below so we know you're tuned in and committed to staying healthy. What type of oil are you cooking your eggs in? It could be the difference between boosting your heart or burdening it. Next up, we're tackling mistake number 5. Let me know when you're ready for chapter 5. I'm ready to write it. Okay, so you're cooking your eggs the right way now. Not overcooked, not raw, and stored properly. But here's a mistake that a lot of people don't even think about. Cooking eggs in margarine or vegetable oils can create harmful trans fats and oxidized lipids. It sounds complicated, but let's break it down simply. According to nutritionists at the Cleveland Clinic, vegetable oils can form harmful compounds when heated above their smoke point, contributing to inflammation and chronic diseases. And for older adults, especially those managing heart health, joint pain, or digestive issues, that inflammation can quietly wear down your health over time. For years, we were told that vegetable oils were the healthier option. They were labeled cholesterol-free, heart-healthy, and they were cheaper than butter or olive oil. But here's the truth: most labels don't mention. When vegetable oils like canola, soybean, corn, or sunflower oil are heated past a certain temperature, called the smoke point, they begin to break down. That's when they release free radicals and oxidized fats, which have been linked to things like artery damage, cognitive decline, and chronic inflammation, especially in older adults. So it's not just about what oil you use, it's about how hot it gets. Let's talk about Frank, a 78-year-old retiree who loved his morning eggs. For decades, he fried them in whatever oil was in the pantry, usually vegetable oil, sometimes even margarine. He figured oil is oil. But after a few years, he started noticing digestive discomfort, sluggishness after breakfast, and more bloating than usual. Then he learned about oxidized fats and decided to make a change. He swapped his oil for real butter and extra virgin olive oil, cooking at lower heat. Within a couple of weeks, Frank felt lighter, had more energy, and even noticed that his morning digestion felt smoother. When oils are exposed to high heat, their chemical structure changes. That's when they oxidize, creating unstable molecules that can damage cells in your body. Over time, this damage adds up, contributing to things like artery plaque, joint pain, and even memory problems. And it's not just vegetable oils. Even a healthy oil, like olive oil, has a relatively low smoke point, which means it's best used at low temperatures or added after cooking. If you regularly fry your eggs hot and fast, especially in vegetable oil, you could be unknowingly adding invisible stress to your body every single day. Busy professionals often rely on those pre-sprayed pans, which are filled with processed oils and emulsifiers. They're convenient, yes, but they bring long-term risks most people don't see coming. Seniors, especially those managing cholesterol or inflammation, may think switching to margarine is better, but it often contains trans fats, which are far worse than natural fats in moderation. You don't have to give up flavor or convenience. You just have to make smarter swaps. Butter or ghee, clarified butter, rich in fat-soluble vitamins and stable at moderate heat. Extra virgin olive oil, great for low-heat cooking or finishing your dish. Coconut oil, stable for higher heat and adds a mild flavor. Avocado oil, high smoke point and loaded with heart-healthy fats. These fats not only taste better, they're easier on your body. If olive oil has a low smoke point, is it really better than vegetable oil for frying eggs? It depends. If you're cooking over medium heat, olive oil can still be a great option. But if you're cranking up the flame, you might be better off with avocado oil or butter. Let us know in the comments. What oil do you use to cook your eggs, and why? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Eggs are only as healthy as the way you treat them. By avoiding these 5 mistakes, you don't just prevent harm, you unlock the full potential of one of nature's most powerful foods. Ask yourself, how do you prepare your eggs? Do you prioritize safety, nutrition, flavor, or all 3? Leave a comment below with your favorite way to cook eggs, or share a food habit you changed after watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who eats eggs every day. Because food isn't just fuel, it's medicine or poison. You choose. Thanks for watching Wise Advice Elder, where we share wisdom, life lessons, and relationship advice from those who've truly experienced it all. Subscribe now for more insightful content.